Okay, I hope that worked. Excellent. I remember the issue I had now. It's got that big restream branding up on the top, which I'm not happy about. I wonder if I can fake it. I wonder if I can fake that away. What if I put... Oh, this is going to feel really funny. Let's try it. I can't see it, but if I put a big... new. Turn to draw on the chip. Did everything just go gray? Not quite right. Tom, welcome in. Oh yeah. Stop it. We're gonna try our best today. See what happens. Kid actually got a bunch of sleep today already, so that could be bad for us, but we'll find out. We'll find out. I'm gonna start by drawing some rugbies, and then we'll go from there and we'll see how far we get. Oh, we're doing a scribble rugby today. Pre-roll. Is that a Philly cheesesteak joke I don't get? Cannon, welcome in.
Howdy,
Please
howdy,
don't
howdy.
Put your chips on the screen. What are you doing today? I'm gonna wipe all the kid slobber off the tablet here. Okay. My house is being invaded by ants. They're now everywhere. Which means I gotta vacuum and mop today. I've neglected it this weekend. I guess I did it this weekend. So I haven't done it since this weekend, which is too long. Too long. Hey. Got some viewer suggestions to do today. Start with the rugby, and we'll go from there. We'll go from there. Okay. Now that I have use of both hands, let's try a different rugby. see if we can get a better sketch going. Oh, my whole desk is just weird. Must be a jar of pickles. Not cool. They put a shadow on it, so it doesn't matter. Oh well. I'm worried that YouTube doesn't like it when you have watermarks on your videos. So I don't know if your free stream's a bad call to use. But, oh my gosh, my whole tablet is just sticky now. Dang it, kid. Dang it, kid. 'What's everybody up to this fine week? It's the 1st of March, right? I don't know when St. Patrick's Day is. When is St. Patrick's Day? Live good? Nope, you can't play with those. Kid. You gotta calm down. 12 days. Okay. No. No, you've had your chance. Yeah, kid, you're ready for a nap. I usually try to let him take a nap before we start, but he's just been full of beans today, so maybe that was a bad idea. We might have to take a break and see if I can get him to actually sleep. I already have pre-roll already. Times like 4 ads. Yeah, Twitch is awful. I like that there's a community on Twitch, which I want to facilitate and be a part of, and I like Twitch's ability to let people engage with like the stickers and stuff. But recently, I think we've only had like 2 or 3 people on Twitch. Period. So I don't know if it's worth all the ridiculousness. Seems like the people that like Twitch and aren't willing to go to YouTube. But also like
howdy.
I don't know if Tori, welcome in. We'll have to start seeing an increase in Twitch people to see if it's really worth using Restream instead of just streaming to YouTube. Right, welcome in. How you doing today? I think it's just me and you in Discord right now. Hey, what are you doing? Please don't put chips in my mouth. Took a nap, feeling better. Headache? Ooh, that's no good. Twitch might be on the glitch today. I think Twitch is just falling apart. Okay, you're going on the floor. If you're gonna squirm and kick me, you go on the floor. Yeah, kid. If you're being mean to me, you don't get to sit on my lap. Please don't chew on my desk. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm working. Chat much? Can't chat much? Yeah, no problem. I'm just struggling with the kiddo today. Here. Wanna play with some bells? What do you think about that? That's pretty neat. On the floor. Right on the floor. Nope. Children are fickle creatures. They want to be up and see what you're doing, and then when you show them, they get upset that it's not something more interesting. So, yep. This is your last chance. You can sit up here with me. But if you're mean to me, you don't get to sit up here. I put out a Patreon post this morning because of the Patreon rewards. I normally like to send them out in March. January, March, every other month. But it's just, this month's been really weird. So, I want to do mini commissions for all the Patreon members this month. So I'll give them probably 2 weeks, and then we'll do a viewer suggestion live stream, and we'll work on those. So if you are a Patreon member, please feel free to check that out. Fill out that little comment on that post, and we'll do that. Otherwise, we're just going to do the regular viewer suggestion today. Try to appease the child. Yeah. Please don't stick your fingers in my mouth. No. And we'll go from there. You cannot stand up here. No, you cannot stand on the desk. Oh, it's gonna be a day. It's gonna be a day. Let's get started. Let's get started before I lose my mind. Put the rugby over here. For those of you who are new, don't know what's going on, we're doing the viewer suggestion. On Monday, I put up a post on the community page of YouTube. People have posted their suggestions there. We're going to roll some dice, and we're going to draw whatever the dice gods deem necessary to draw. If you've not suggested something, you're very welcome to put it in the chat. We'll add it to the list. World's smallest dentist. Roll a 12. Slacker wizard who uses a game controller as a magic wand. Slacker wizard who uses a game controller as a magic wand. Okay. I assume just human? I suppose any race could be a slacker, but hey. Wii controls would be most wand-like. Yeah, that's true. I think a gun count would be pretty fun too. Okay, kid. Jared, welcome in.
Hey.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. Moving kind of slow. My body feels 60 instead of 40, but otherwise I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
All right. Tired, as always.
Yep. That is life when you've got a child, a toddler.
Almost done with the commission today, which is good. Which means back
That's
to game
nice.
dev next week, this week, hopefully. How's your game going? Or is that not something you want to talk about on stream?
Nah, I haven't made any progress, so
That's fine.
kind of got sick last week and put it down, and haven't picked it back up. So
That is understandable. I'm going to try to move this entirety over here. Hopefully that's a little clearer. People can hear me better.
sounds a little clearer on the Discord.
Excuse me. I spent the last week trying to make drag and drop work for the game, and it just wouldn't. Like everything I did, it just kept not working, and I kept finding things that I'm like, oh, that might be why, and I'd fix that. It would be like the game is just like, yeah, it's running, everything's running perfectly fine, but it just doesn't work. I'm like, oh. No. So Dalcor thinks he has a better system for it, so we're rebuilding the inventory system, and we'll see if that helps. And as soon as we're done with that, I'm gonna work on the animations and then start building characters. So that'll be fun. We're in for a good time, but we're just kind of stuck. I'm kind of stuck right now, so it's been a slow week.
Yep.
Bri, welcome in. Zig, welcome in. Apparently the emotes don't work on Restream. That's funny.
Oh, that's too bad.
Uh-oh, I don't have Twitch open. I can't hear Twitch stuff. Say hello to the chat. Alright, sorry, Atomic. There we go. Hello, welcome in. Yeah, I don't know. I really want to give Twitch the benefit of the doubt, but just doesn't do what I think it should anymore. I don't know what's going on. It's probably my fault. I'm probably not don't have everything signed in or something.
To be fair to Twitch, it's lived along for longer than I expected it to.
I mean, it's owned by Amazon, so
Yeah.
Bezos not gonna just let something fail. He'll sell it before he does that.
That's kind of what I mean. I expected it to become so much of a money drain on Amazon that it got sold to somebody.
Does Critical Role still post on Twitch?
I think so.
And they post,
but
on
they
YouTube,
also
yeah?
stream to YouTube now.
Yeah. Okay. Hey! Stop! Do not chew on the desk. Sorry. Yeah. Now you're upset. This kid needs a nap super bad.
Excuse me?
Excuse me? Yeah.
We all know how nap time goes, though.
Yeah. Normally he wakes up when Jump Rope gets up to go to work. And today he slept in. And so now I'm afraid he's not going to nap. Stop. gonna play this game, kid. Okay, nope, you're going on the floor. It's so frustrating. He screams until I pick him up, and then he just fights me because he doesn't want to be held. It's like, get your shit together, kid. Like, I don't know.
Sorry. Yeah.
Look,
I'm trying to decide if I want to draw with you or not.
stop. Do not chew on the desk. You're gonna get hurt. Yeah. You're gonna get hurt, and I'm gonna be real mad. Ugh. Well, whether or not you draw with me, I feel like I'm gonna get nothing done today. So who knows? Who knows if it'll be worthwhile? Might be a short stream. Do you have no ad stream price today? Yes, $1,000. No, it's anything. Any chat I'll turn off the ads if you'd like me to turn off the ads.
Considering the ad revenue you get, I have to assume anything over 10 cents will be more than you'd get from the stream revenue anyway.
Essentially. I usually make about $2, I think. Like is a good ad revenue day for
That's
a live
not
stream.
terrible. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty bad for 3 hours of work, but
yeah, like that's the problem with Twitch is like Twitch is basically it banks on it does shit tons of ads, but then I really only get paid from memberships. So it's like if I don't get any memberships that day, it's nothing. So
yeah.
Yes, 10K for no ads. Man, if someone tipped me 10K, I would continue streaming like normal, and I would turn off ads for like more than a year. I would just start streaming for free. That would be amazing. That would pay for my YouTube streams for a year. Easy. I say things like that, and now I'm worried it might happen, and then I would like lose my mind.
Everybody, let's remember where the economy is at currently,
Right,
and don't spend money you can't afford to
Very
not
true.
get back.
You know what? I'm gonna make this a goblin because I think it'll be funnier. A slacker.
Because I was late,
bug
I missed it. What's the prompt?
A slacker wizard who uses a game controller instead of a wand.
I gotcha. Okay.
So I'm trying to get all that in my brain. Let me get my hat. Da, 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 da.
No, the hat helps with the head shape an awful lot. I was about to say, this was looking like a Pathfinder hobgoblin, the kind Corvus doesn't like, since it's just a person with a fat football head goblin,
Right.
goblin face.
The lazy hobgoblins.
Yep.
Lazily drawn, I should say.
The Hey Arnold ones.
What is going on? That's okay. You want up? Yeah, you want up here, and then you're gonna fight and spin and twist and kick me, and I'm not gonna be happy. You don't get to play with the keyboard. Maybe something between a mage and a changeling. Those are two very different things. They're freaking dumb looking.
I don't disagree with you, Corvus. This is why I was about to call Rook out.
Brian, thank
damn.
you for the gift memberships. I appreciate that. We can probably turn off the ads for that.
Also, did you see Tori Evans' suggestion?
I did not.
Right above Corvus.
Mookanid? Got it. Mushroom Minotaur. Yeah, I'll put that on the list. That sounds fun.
As someone who plays far too much Minecraft, I approve.
Okay, there we go. There should be no more ads on YouTube now. $10,000, thanks. Bless you. Stop. I just can't have that keyboard anymore, apparently. Kid, you are so tired. Please, just calm down. Is that better? You wanna relax now? No, you want to kick the computer? Oh, His name's the games Mage the Awakening, Changelings, and I forgot. Ah, okay. Are bugbears stupid in those? What are we talking about? The Mookanid is on the list now. Kid. My brain is frazzled right now. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm bummed that Restream doesn't show off the Twitch and the YouTube stuff, which means I still need YouTube and Twitch open, which means why do I have Restream? So frustrating. Which means I should just have YouTube. The YouTube chat popped up. There we go. Now I can see that stuff. Now I can see the emotes. God, I haven't made emotes. I'm like 6 months behind making emotes. Whew. Stuff to do. Stuff to do. Welcome to Rookzer0's anxiety hour. Where we just talk about stress.
You've been making a video game.
I've been making a video game and videos, and I finished the audio for my next video.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I got a commission, so that delayed me a little bit, but that takes priority. But yeah, I'll have new tokens too, which is great. So I like sharing the tokens from the commissions. Tori, welcome in. If I didn't say that already. Cedarwood. That's a cool name. I like that. Don't besmirch the bugbear. He needs a job that will help him take a nap. Something. I gotta get him like a treadmill or something. I'm gonna try to build a playground for him, like a little jungle gym. I gotta get all the stuff for it though. That's gonna be a summer project. All the ones online, like I keep looking for stuff. And like I have one of these little climby gym things to help kids learn how to walk or stand up, which he just blew past because he can climb over the damn thing now. And there's a whole bunch online of like, oh, buy this jungle gym, and it's the exact same thing that I have, but with a ladder on it. And they're just like, yep, jungle gym. I'm like, okay. I think I'm just gonna build a ladder. Just build a ladder and put it on there. See what happens.
My first thought was, why don't you buy like a shit ton of cardboard and like make a playroom and just cover it in sheets of cardboard and build cardboard furniture.
Could do that. Gotta save all the Amazon boxes you ever get.
Yeah.
Yep. Get him some shredded board shorts here. This is a callback. This is me in high school. I didn't think I ever wore cutoff jeans, now that I think about it. No, I always just wore baggy jeans. What was up with the Jinko pants? Like, where did that come from?
I have no idea.
I was in no way, shape, or form ever rich enough to get Jinko pants. But my God, they were everywhere.
I think the really baggy style was pioneered during a New York Fashion Week thing.
You were a goblin? I mean, yeah. You think they were just? It was like a stylist. Like,
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure in the '90s it was a runway style first, and then it at first it made it off of the runway with quote unquote popular kids who cared about such things, just buying pants that were way too big for them. And then once the trend kind of started and companies like Jeanco took advantage of it.
I see what you're saying. Okay, that makes sense. So, like, for me, my thought was always been like the kids that wore them in my high school were like the goths and the kids that liked industrial and techno stuff. A lot of the ravers, which I think is still the way it is.
Yeah, I think it's still part of their aesthetic, and I think that the super baggy thing was a punk aesthetic first.
Yeah.
And it was the punk adaptation in the fashion show that started it. I could be completely off base though. I don't actually know that much about fashion history. This is something somebody else told me.
I was a husky kid that had allergies, so I really could only wear loose-fitting clothes. Yeah. I think I had a little. Looking back at my life, I've always been stocky. I was a short kid. Like in every one of my school pictures, I'm always the last kid of the line. I was always the very last kid. Yeah, Corvus. That's the gif I was thinking of. And like, but I was also a goth kid, so like I wore just black clothes for years. That was it. That was the whole thing. What was I going with this? But I knew so many people that looked like that. It's so funny. Nope, I totally lost my train of thought. Totally lost it.
You were short and stocky. But also a goth kid.
Looking back at those pictures, I was a skinny kid. Like, I was just small, skinny kid, and I don't know why I felt chubby and chunky all the time. Maybe it was because I wore baggy clothes, but like I wore baggy clothes because it didn't feel good to wear tight clothes because I felt fat. Body dysmorphism, people. It's a thing.
Yeah, and it sucks. And everybody has it to some degree.
To some degree. I didn't really stop feeling that way until I started like really, really working out after high school, and I bulked up. And then I stopped working out, but kept eating and just got really fat. Yeah. I think we just don't like ourselves sometimes, and that's something you gotta learn. Let's add some belts to this kid, this wizard, and then we'll call it. fun? This doesn't seem super dangerous, so I will allow it, I suppose. He's drawing on the side of the computer case with a pencil that doesn't have any lead in it, so that's probably fine. Don't think he can hurt anything. I was shopping for dress clothes for my sister's wedding, and I transported me back to women's high school insecurities. Yeah. I wouldn't mind going to the gym again, but I hate paying money. I need to get a new weight set. Oh, what should we do for our birthday stream this year? Last year was kind of crazy because baby just about to be born. Year before that, I think we played D&D. We did the mask build that one year. That was fun. Maybe I should do that again this year. Maybe I should do a mask carving stream. See if I can make plaster masks instead of resin masks, because resin masks are a pain in the butt. Just
Yep.
such a pain in the butt. That could actually be really fun. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know if I want to do the silicone mold again. Like, that was the biggest pain in the butt. I was trying to make the mold. I wonder if I could just make like a plaster mold out of it. And then use like plaster of Paris, make some masks out of newspaper and stuff. That could be fun.
Yeah, totally. I can absolutely help you with that.
Green Girl's probably a librarian now, or a hairdresser, but not a good one. She likes to smoke bread. Coming on a year with the Patreon. Nice. What I should do, I have so many stickers left over. I should really I should do sometime this summer, do a Patreon grab bag. And let all the Patreons that are still like bugbears and above, let them kind of ask for stickers that maybe they didn't get, or maybe they want copies of. That would be fun. Because we have some new ones. We have some new Patreon members that probably didn't get some of those old stickers. Gum gum gum. Gum gum. Don't do it. Yeah, you mad? Can you relax? I didn't realize until a few years ago that I was pretty hot after I got out of the military. Marines are so hard on each other. Generally had no idea I looked good. That's awesome. Kid, hey. Knock it off. Please don't push on my throat. He's so sleepy. I might be stuck like this for a few minutes while I try to get him to fall asleep. And then we keep drawing. I like the idea that this wizard is just like, I cast Firebolt, and then someone like nothing happens, and then he just whacks him with the controller. Swings it around, clocks him with it. Go to sleep. Yeah.
I cast Concussion.
Swift concussion. Debilitating headache. Oh, kid. Kid. Yeah, no, it's okay. Nothing going on. You don't need to look at the screen, nothing. I took the arms off my chair because the kid was just using them to like fling himself into the desk.
Oh.
Yeah, kid. It's okay. You can go to sleep. You're not gonna miss anything. Kid, you gotta calm down. No. Bye. It's like if he thinks you're gonna do anything, he just freaks out and has to see what you're doing.
Include me. I need attention.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll be honest, it does not bode well for when he is allowed to have video games on the internet, because it suggests that boredom is the worst thing he's ever experienced.
Well, right now it is. Like, I'm worried about how quickly he gets attached to any kind of screen.
Yep.
Like TV being on in the background, he normally ignores, but then sometimes he's just like, "Whoop! This is the only thing that matters in life now." It's like, I don't like that. So, except for when we're doing this, I'm trying to keep him away from screens, which is that's what the doctors say to do anyways until he's like 2 years old. So he does like drawing on the tablet, so like when I let him do that, he's really into it, which I think is not the same as kid.
It's sitting completely still, staring at a screen while Bluey plays, or something else.
No, he actually he draws, and it's really great. So like I think that's the same, but like if I turn on, this is the sound he makes when he's too tired and doesn't want to fall asleep. He just yells. He's on my shoulder, yelling at himself. Prismatic spray takes 2 casts. Yeah, 2 cans of paint. Dad crafts with. I want to make him a little Korok mask. That would be fun. I weighed like 155 in high school. And then I weighed that until I was out of high school, and I went up to like 205. Because I started working out, and I got beefy, and then I went up to like 225. I think it's the heaviest I've ever been. Maybe 235. I think it was 225. And I was just chunky. I was just chunky.
Yep.
And I'm trying to get back down to that at least 205. Not there yet. Not there yet.
I've always had an elf build. 180 is the most I've ever weighed.
I wish. Everybody's different. Yeah. We all want different things. I had a rule when I was working out that is like, it didn't matter how heavy I got as long as I could bench my own weight. And that was fine until I reached the weight at which I could, like, I was benching, and I was like, uh-oh. And now I have no idea. No idea, because I don't go to the gym anymore. Okay, I think I'm done with this. I think I'm done with this kid. I'm gonna go ahead and do another one. Hey, don't touch my glasses. That's not okay. myself here. See if he'll actually go to sleep. What are we going to draw? What is next? That dice is not big enough. 8. Human male fighter with a sword and a shield. That's super generic, and I like it. Human fighter, sword and shield. Okay.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with being basic.
Nope.
12 degrees.
Oh my goodness, kid. So. Yeah. Oh. Hi. Oh. 186 was my high school weight, but ideally it would have been more 160. I'm in the 260s now. Yeah, I think I was supposed to.
I'm not gonna say how much I weigh now.
Hey, why are you screaming? What's going on? Trying to poop?
You pooping?
Wow. Is that so? Mm-hmm. It's a good story. Got a block? You can eat the block. Okay. I think I'm down to 215, which is good.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Which just means I've lost like 20 pounds since my eye exploded 2 years ago. Blood pressure's still too high, though. You need to exercise
That
more.
sucks. Hmm. I've been trying to do, like, right after I get out of bed, do some simple calisthenics.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I know that I don't move enough in general, and I always feel better when I do move. But it does make me feel an awful lot like Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, yeah?
I very much like my first exercise is toe touches, so it's very much like the very first Winnie the Pooh movie. Doing his stoutness exercises. I don't know if that's too deep a pull for anybody.
1, 2, touch the ground, something like that.
Yep. Something like that.
No name, welcome in, by the way. I don't know if I saw you or not. I might have said hello already.
Yep, that's it. That's it, Bri.
Kid. Oh my god. Stop. If you do that, you're gonna hit your head on the desk, and I'm not gonna be happy about it. Come on. Thank you. Alright, starting over. Oh my god.
The old man grunt the other day? Yeah, bro, I live in the old man grunt zone.
Did I miss much? Not yet. I think we've only done one so far, so. Working on a human. I mean, you can see everything we've drawn so far, so.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
I am not helping out like maybe I should be, but
You're not required to.
yeah.
Yeah? One, two, one, two. Oh.
I am drawing my own thing, and I've noticed that the arcane style has altered the way I draw faces now.
Okay. How so?
Yeah, it was specifically around the eyes. I simplified the way the planes of where the nose and the inside corner of the eyes are. And I've complicated it slightly because I watched too many League of Legends videos in the arcane style.
Gotcha. Everybody in the arcane style looks like they're tired. Like that's the way it is.
Yeah, 100% that's true.
Like the bags under their eyes are massive.
Yeah, just like you, kid.
Nope, that's wrong. Kid. No, you cannot touch the keyboard. I gotta walk away from the desk for a little bit. Right back.
Mm-hmm. Jordan, is it the character you're talking about? Is it a kind witch, elderly woman wearing glasses, a sun hat, blue polka dot dress, and magic umbrella? Because if so, they are on the list. That's it? Okay, cool. No, I'm druid. Sorry. Corvus is.
Here.
Oh, you are here.
I just not been talking.
Yeah, we're collectively having a slow day apparently.
I'm looking at some of the new feats and everything that came out today.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Same.
Did you get a PDF or you find somewhere online?
I'm on Demiplane.
Gotcha.
And Path Builder has all the stuff now, but Demiplane lets me like isolate the new stuff from the old stuff.
New Pathfinder book came out today, Brian. I think is what we're talking about.
Yep. Actually, 3 came out today.
3 books?
Yep. So the last part of a Adventure Path came out today. The NPC core book came out today. And Pathfinder Lost Omens Rival Academies. Does it have a sorcerer? Not necessarily, but there are things that sorcerers can take.
Yeah. Second edition Pathfinder already has the sorcerer and some really fun stuff for it.
Yeah. There's no new bloodlines or anything like that. There's some new wizard schools. Technically 3, but one of them is a class archetype, and it's the Rune Lord.
Stormlord?
Rune Lord.
Okay.
You know, Rise of the Rune Lords?
Yeah, I thought you said Stormlord. That's why I was confused.
They give you feats and some neat tricks you can use with polearms and spears. Rune Lords are wizards who devote themselves to a sin, metaphysically. And each sin is has a bunch of different spells associated with it. In 1E, they were all tied to the different schools of magic, sans divination. So, Envy would be abjuration in 1E. Lust would be enchantment.
Kid.
And you get to have a nice polearm weapon that you treat as your staff. And if you find a staff that you really like, you can fuse the polearm and staff together with a first level feature. You also get to embed iron stones into your skin.
Oh, cool.
So they can't be grabbed.
Yep. And at 4th level, you can use their resonant power without having them be slotted into a wayfinder.
Nice.
And I think at 8th level, you can take that feat again and do activate 4 of them at the same time
Oh, damn.
instead of having 1 active.
Cool.
I never got into the wayfinding things. Is that
They're
new to 2E or is that?
Yes.
Yeah, so for you to use what is referred to as a resonance, which is kind of a little ability that all the iron stones have,
Yeah.
you have to slot it into a wayfinder, which is just a magic compass.
Yeah.
Is there any Rune Lords left to fight? I don't know. I think there's only
But
2
the-
in the first
yeah.
book, right?
Say what?
I don't know. I've never followed them.
Yeah, I don't
That
do a
story.
lot of the adventure paths, so
path
I'm not
stuff.
sure how many Rune Lords there are.
Yeah.
Well, there were 7.
Well, there
For
were, but
7
how many
deadly
are there
sins.
now? That was the question.
2.
2? Okay, that's what I thought.
Well, 1 has abandoned the title, so technically only 1.
Gotcha.
And that's the Belisarius. She is the
mean,
Rune Lord of Envy.
It said Rise of the Rune Lords, not Rise of the Rune Lord, so there's gotta be at least 2.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there's like 2 different adventure paths. There's Rise of the Rune Lords and Return of the Rune Lords. Where you basically kill off the rest of them. Minus Sorshan and Belisarius. You also get some like neat meta magic where you can like imbue your polearm to attack people.
Jordan wants to know if your accent is real. That's not what he said. I do believe Corvus is from the south, but Corvus is not required to answer that.
I don't know if the South would claim me, or anyone from my state, but within the region, yeah.
I mean, your state is for sure in the Bible Belt, right?
Yeah, but like, that's a lot of states.
Yeah, it is, but generally...
That also counts like Missouri and everything, so...
I realize that the Bible Belt and the South are not synonymous, but I kind of historically they're so close. I tend to think of them as synonymous.
Because like, I would argue Florida is not part of the Bible Belt. Also would argue Florida is not southern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Florida is coastal.
Yep. I mean, there's quite a few southern states that are coastal, but Florida, I don't know, it's just...
No, I mean that's,
The
just, that's
vibe
how
is too
I would
different.
describe Florida as like coastal.
Oh,
as the city.
okay.
I think southern has to be more central southern. Texas, if you say southern. It's like California. The Southern barely claims Southerners at all unless you're from Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, or Kentucky. There you go. Florida and Texas have Hispanic South heritages. Yeah, that's fair.
Mississippi has always confused me, being rolled in with the South. I realize that the Mississippi River headed south towards the Gulf of Mexico is their main...
The Gulf of what?
What?
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Mississippi just seemed too far north to me to
You know
fully
where
count.
Mississippi is?
Yeah.
It's on the Gulf of Mexico.
No, Louisiana is on the Gulf of Mexico.
Yes.
Somebody get a map.
And right to the left of, or right to it, of Louisiana is Mississippi and then Alabama. You're thinking of Missouri.
You're right. I am thinking of Missouri.
Do we have to call the Gulf of whatever the Gulf of whatever?
No.
No. We can still call it the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay, good.
The Gulf of Cuba.
Yeah. The Gulf of the Bahamas?
Yeah.
Is it
they're a little-
technically? This is a third grade question that I don't know the answer to, which is why I'm asking it. I'm not being pedantic or serious. Is the Gulf
ahead.
of Mexico part of the ocean?
I
Or
would
is
say,
is it separate?
I would argue it's closer to the
It's like we got the Atlantic right here, right?
Caribbean Sea and then the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And the Caribbean Sea is like right here. It's a bad picture of South America.
Yeah, so that little, like... Yeah, so that... You got... I can't draw, honestly. But, like, the left you have Gulf of Mexico and then the Caribbean Sea and then the Atlantic. So those are, like, official water designations, but I would consider it all the ocean.
Gulf of Mexico is not the ocean. All right. Okay. I
don't really fully understand what the difference between it is and not, so
because like
it all flows into the same thing.
Yeah, like for Washington does this, and then we have like this is all the Puget Sound.
Yep, which is massive.
But like technically not the ocean. Seawater, not the ocean.
Yep.
And it's just like, but why not? Why not?
Yeah. Like, what constitute ocean versus, like, a sea connected to the ocean?
Yeah, what makes a gulf? What makes a sea? I don't know these things. My geography is bad.
It's, I'm pretty sure it's all old, arbitrary designations based on size and perceived landlockedness, based not on maps from above, but based on what you can see from shore.
Because, like, if you look at the Mediterranean, people will cut it up into different seas. So you have, like, the Adriatic Sea, which is, like, on the east coast of Italy. You have the Aegean Sea, which is all around Greece and Turkey. But then it's just, like, Western Mediterranean. I'm just like, yeah, they didn't bother coming up with a name for it.
I think it was Colbert. Might have been someone else was showing the somebody made Gulf of America globes, but it's literally just like pretty much only the United States on the globe, and it says Gulf of America. And they're like, I don't know why they did this. This is a horrible globe. But then obviously they used AI to make it because there's too many Great Lakes.
Oh no!
It's just like, what is happening here?
I think I saw that as well. Aren't they like $1,200?
Something like that.
They're like super expensive, and not like globes are difficult to produce, so globes are expensive generally, but not like thousands of dollars expensive.
Yeah, it's just it's a scam.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's a scam.
The whole.
I did some Googling. For oceans, it's just scale. So,
Okay.
and they have to be, obviously, saltwater. A gulf is an inlet to a sea. Almost surrounded by land with a narrow mouth. So, the Gulf of Mexico is probably, I think, the largest gulf in the world.
Probably.
So it's Florida's fault that it's a gulf. Otherwise, it would just be.
Well, Florida and the Yucatan.
Yeah. Florida, Cuba, and Brazil, really.
Brazil?
You mean Mexico?
Okay. Okay.
Oh, the northern half of South America.
This kid might fall asleep. I'll be right back.
Because I was going to say, Brazil doesn't reach all the way that far north.
You're right, it doesn't.
I'm annoyed by pythons. What?
They can't be bribed.
talking about a lot of people from Michigan living in Florida.
That's a cultural crossover I would not have expected, honestly.
It's mostly because Florida has no job, or not Florida has no jobs. Michigan
yeah.
didn't have a lot of jobs, and also Florida's home of owed snowbirds, who just never went home.
Yeah, yeah.
God's waiting room.
The Pythons comment made me think of biology. I learned they found a new species of the very, very dangerous funnel web spiders from in Australia. They're bigger. What did they name them? I forgot. I'm gonna have to look it up. Yeah, the Newcastle Big Boy is what it's officially called.
Dear Lord.
About 1.5 times larger than the previous largest species of funnel web spider, and it has more of the super horrible venom that causes all primates to go into anaphylaxis immediately.
They've made a campfire storyteller archetype.
Cool.
Called the Campfire Chronicler.
I approve, actually.
And like you get like, it's all about like telling stories and stuff like that. They have a 6-level feat called Cozy Campfire. Spend an hour building a campfire in a single unoccupied square, whispering the stories of those you have met on your journeys. The campfire sheds bright light in a 30-foot radius. Dim light for the next 30. The campfire cannot be put out or get larger than through mundane means.
It's not a bard thing, right?
No, it's just anyone can take it.
Nice.
It does feel very bardy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Campfire, blah blah blah. It burns out until your next daily preparations or when you use the ability again. First time each round, a creature within the campfire bright light performs an action with the attack action. They must succeed a will save against your class DC or spell DC, whichever is higher. This is a divine curse. You are aware of any attempt. So, it's like a safe zone. Anyone tries to. That's neat. Saves you from being snake attacked in your sleep.
Nice.
And they like take let's see. On a failure, they take a -2 stats penalty to the attack roll, and all of their attacks until the beginning of their next turn. Critical failure. The attack is the action is disrupted, and so they basically waste an action, and all attack rolls are at a -2 penalty. Neat.
Nice. Yeah. I like that. I can see that having utility.
Mm-hmm. It does give out like domains, like from a cleric for one of the abilities, but it doesn't say like what the casting that is, which is a little weird.
It's probably charisma then. I believe charisma is the default if it's not stated.
Maybe it's in the dedication. I just didn't see it. You become trained in religion and survival. Okay. No, unfortunately, Bri. It does have a thing where the dedication gives you a thing called offer story. You can spend an action during your turn to give a +1 status bonus to AC and will saves until the end of your next turn. Any creature that you shared the story with can take a single action that has the auditory trait to respond with their own story to gain the same benefits until the end of the following turn. So you could just kind of keep it going.
It's come with tube socks and a headband like a 70s horror movie. That could be kind of funny. Rest-based class sounds really good. Yeah, there was a couple other things. There's a couple like Desna-based spells that are really fun like that. I could see it making a really good cleric or bard using it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've got nothing done today.
If it makes you feel any better, neither did I.
They also added new feats for the Pact Binder.
Pathfinder Society or?
No, Pact Binder.
I need more explanation.
A Pact Binder.
Yeah, I don't
You
know
make
what that is.
pacts. It's an archetype. like a warlock.
Okay.
You still sound confused.
I've just never heard of it.
Pathfinder does have rules for magical contracts, which are pretty cool.
I need to shrink this, but
Basically, what it does is you can make pacts with like a creature. So, like, you can make a pact with a dragon. They're a little weird because a lot of the creatures are like level capped, so you just can't do it for everything. So it's a little weird.
wait, Bri, is that what the Gulf of Mexico actually looks like? Need to look this up now. Oh, that's way more engulfed than I had thought. I totally forgot that the Yucatan Peninsula existed. And Cuba's much bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah. American history really does minimize Cuba, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, a lot of the maps we see of America, they just cut off the Yucatan Peninsula. They just don't draw it. They just straight up don't draw it. And that's funny. That's funny to me. Okay, that makes sense though. Probably not.
Well, it's not part of America, so
Yeah, so why put it on the American map?
yep, exactly. This is in America. Why are we putting it on an American map?
Because it's really close. It's kind of like the same thing with like Alaska and Russia, right? It's like they're actually pretty.
Yep.
They're pretty
Yeah.
close together.
Yep.
Like within shouting distance, if your voice is loud enough. Yeah, Bride. Greenland is also always represented as 5 times too big. That's specifically because of the parallaxing you get from trying to translate a round a sphere onto a flat plane.
You happier now? You got some milk? Be right back again. Sorry, guys. I do need to roll. Let me roll real quick. Half-elf drow blood wandering tattoo up his neck. Half-elf with drow blood. Okay. So a half drow. With wandering tattoos up his neck and arms, wearing a long brown trench coat, which would cover his neck and arms as he works as a private eye sorcerer. Okay, we can do that. Do I draw the coat or do I draw the tattoos? That's the question. I think I probably draw the tattoos.
Which is going to be easier or more fun? Because if the kid is actually going to let you draw now, then you can do what's more fun. Leaves a rolled up coat open. Says Revenant Crow.
Sorry, I'm back. Oh my gosh.
Welcome back.
Coat
Find
open,
me
sleeves rolled up. Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing with a trench coat, though. Like, at that point, you're not wearing a trench coat. You just have a cape. It's not an uncommon issue you have, right? It's one of those reasons that you get kind of the strange poses in comic books and stuff. It's 'cause, like, you want to show off.
Yep.
You want to show off all the stuff. But most photographs you take of people are like arms to the side. It's not interesting because they got to make a dynamic thing. Is that yours, Revenant? Is that your suggestion? I'm also have to figure out what kind of tattoos are going to show up on a drow skin. Make them red? Make them red. That could be interesting.
White tattoos.
Should I give him a fedora?
No, I gotta give him a cowboy hat.
I thought he was a detective.
Yeah, so I'm making a joke about
Dresden.
what's his name? Yeah, Dresden. I'm making a Harry Dresden book art.
Have we
joke.
talked about that? We talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've talked about that. All the book art has him with a cowboy hat, and he's not supposed to wear a cowboy hat.
Never once in the books has he ever worn a cowboy hat.
Leather duster? Oh yeah, every day.
Spell imbued leather duster. I think that's one of like the funniest things, like just the innocuous, like kind of off the cuff things that they do with that is like, oh yeah, his duster is basically bulletproof. Like there's enough spells on it that if he gets shot, it just really hurts and doesn't kill him.
Yep.
And like that's what they should have run with on the TV show, and they didn't even touch it.
Yeah. I have a feeling that's probably because none of the writers read enough of the original source material in order to get to that point. Because he doesn't even get the leather duster until book 3, right?
I think he had a coat, and then yeah, Susan gives it to him.
Yeah.
So
he did have a coat. He did not take care of it because it was super cheap, I think.
All right, let's try this again. So we got to draw a drow. Draw a heart. Put a line down the middle of it. We got cheekbones, people. Draw chin. Because they're a half drow. Pointy chin. Sharp cheekbones. I like drawing drow just more angular than regular elves. And elves are already pretty angular, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you okay? He's fine. Is he a monk detective? I don't remember what the prompt was now.
I thought it was sorcerer.
Private Eye Sorcerer. Okay, you're right. Yep. I need to do more tattoo designs. Just spend a week looking at tattoos, drawing tattoos and stuff. What kind of haircut would a private eye have? Short and cut?
I tend to think of a slick back kind of greaser hairstyle, but that's just because detective in my head is old like 20s gumshoe sort of aesthetic. Dick Tracy and whatnot.
I think it's funny that when I was a kid, like a Dick Tracy watch was the coolest thing in the world, and now it's like Apple Watches are 1 billion times better than what that ever was. And it's like, that's lame. I don't want one of those.
Yeah.
I remember having an argument with someone when I was in college about like, because they were like, "What if tricorders were real?" I'm like, "You mean cell phone?" And they're like, "No, tricorders." I'm like, "That's a cell phone. Like, you can have scanners and stuff in a tricorder." I'm like, "Yeah, you can just buy the things to attach to your cell phone to do that. Like, the cell phone's just a computer. It's just a tiny computer." Lauren, welcome in. So, like, yes, it would be cool if you could just pull out a thing and have a doctor diagnose you. Like, I get that that's not what a cell phone is.
Yep.
But like,
well, I don't know if you have WebMD app.
Right? Yeah. The sum of human knowledge just in your fingertips, and people are like, "Well, it doesn't do this." It's like, well, then fucking build it.
Stop being whiny.
Quit being whiny and and actually like improve the world you live in.
Lorem ipsum, your Velociraptor comment makes me suspect you've been playing the new Monster Hunter game.
No, I think they're talking about the boy.
Oh.
The Velociraptor screeches have been an ongoing thing for the last few weeks.
That's fair. I suppose I've learned to tune them out.
I've also hopefully adjusted my mic so you guys, I don't know if you can hear him or not. Screaming.
Every once in a while we get a squeak.
Discord might also be better at filtering out than YouTube, by the way, because
that's probably
Discord has
true.
The volume gate. YouTube gets free, uncompressed, and baby screams. I feel like if you were a sorcerer that like was banking on your magical tattoos, you might just wear the trench coat like a streaker.
Just, oh no.
Then when you were getting into combat, you just like whip the coat off, like ha ha.
And anything that gives you an edge in combat. If you can paralyze your opponent briefly as they try to parse what's happening, you've won an advantage. I
mean, I'm not saying that like unless the tattoos like go all the way down your schlong, you probably don't need to. You can probably wear pants. Pants are probably fine. But if it's your arms and your chest, like I don't know if you'd want to cover that up. Have you guys seen the? There's a comic somebody wrote about that, with the like why women armor is always so open.
No.
It's like it's the power of the womb. You're so powerful. You don't need armor. It's an old one, old comic. Oh, be careful, kid.
Yeah, I mean, if you're only fighting straight men and lesbians, maybe. But if women in general are allowed on the battlefield, probably a good idea to have the armor.
My two favorite like gender armored things are, one, that comic I talked about, because like they were basically inferring that if you don't have that on, then you're not bulletproof to arrows anymore, which is just silly and ridiculous. And then the other one is Jake the dog from Adventure Time. Finn finds like the most amazing impervious armor, but it's lady armor, and he refuses to wear it. And so Jake the dog's just like, whatever, and he wears it. He becomes invincible because everyone makes fun of him when he puts it on.
Yep.
That's girl armor.
So,
Shut up. I like that concept.
yeah. Also, trust the shapeshifter to not give
care.
2 fucks about about the way something is shaped.
Jake the dog is great. Like, he's just so carefree.
Yeah. Weirdly, deeply philosophical sometimes.
Hey man, when we get to when we get to the underworld, just listen for this sound. What? In case we get separated. I'd rather be safe. I'm neither. Totally fair. I gotta see if I can find that comic. Here, I'll put it in the Discord. It's more powerful when it's exposed. It's just science.
Oh, this looks good. Good art style.
I feel like I've been drawing my eyes a little too big. Got the anime affliction.
Yep.
You all right, kid? What's going on?
Well, actually, all your characters look fairly proportional to me.
Except for Rugby.
He's just got rugby proportions.
Just a Reddit post where a male elf wearing the same armor as the women. Yeah, I think I've seen that too. It's like, why are you wearing that armor? What do you mean? It's just elven armor. All elves wear this. Looks like he's touching his ear. That's not what I want. Do the tattoos go down the chest or just on the neck and arm? My sound was off. What happened here? Yeah, we're just talking about it.
I am a little bit surprised we didn't end up talking about the armors with the giant cod pieces. But just as well we didn't.
It's unnecessary.
Yep.
Oh yeah? Pick your battles, it's fine.
Yep. Revenant says the tattoos do go down the chest.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, I think we're gonna go with the no shirt. No shirt trench coat. Why do you think I wear the coat? Because it's fucking cold. No problem, no name. Yeah, we'll be back on Friday, so. Yeah, I should be back on Friday. I have a doctor's appointment. And then. But that's at like early, so it should be alright.
Witch's got a new focus spell,
Nice.
a hex spell, called Censure of Falsehoods. You curse someone, and if they try to lie to you or make any type of deception check, like snakes and toads fall out of their mouths and become sickened.
That's pretty great. I had a lot of fun with my investigator trying to do pointed question.
Mm-hmm.
Like between pointed question and dubious knowledge, you can have really good conversations with people and feel pretty confident about them. Kevin the Necromancer was did not like it. He was DMing and he was not a fan, because he just very much wanted to just leave the characters very in the dark, and I'm like, I'm not asking for like out of game lore, but like what this character should know something, and I'm asking them a pointed question, and I have a function for it. So, spill the beans.
Spill the beans, bro. Another one they got is called Unravel Knowledge, which is you can sustain for 1 minute, and during which you can select a action that a creature can do, such as strike, disarm, a dragon's breath attack, a haste spell, if you're aware of it, different things like that, and you can make them forget it.
That's awesome. I like that.
While also damaging them with mental damage.
That's a focus spell or just a spell?
That is a focus spell.
Well, it's just Pathfinder's version of Silvery Barbs, honestly.
I mean, you can't get it until like 6th level, so.
Oh, so it's balanced. That's good.
I said something about Silvery Barbs the other day on a short, and people got all up in arms about it. So I don't know if they nerfed it. I think they might have nerfed it. But because when it came out, it was very much, I thought, that Silvery Barbs only worked, like it was supposed to be something you got for being a student of Strixhaven, of the Strixhaven University.
Yeah, it was pretty setting specific.
But then people just started taking it, and then that made it a little too overpowered.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's essentially just like a free counter spell on a cantrip, I thought. But
Well, it's a first level spell.
first level spell, okay.
Yep. It's a reaction.
That's bananas. But continue.
When you see a creature within 60 feet of yourself succeed an attack roll or an ability check or saving throw, you can make them re-roll it.
That's right.
And then you can choose to give a creature advantage on the next roll.
How about 2 spells at reaction speed? That's why it was overpowered. It's essentially True Strike and Bane on as a reaction. That's great.
Yeah.
You can't beat that. You can't beat that.
I also thought that it was a cantrip.
Kind of wondering if maybe because it feels like there's a bard thing that it feels very much like the bardic inspiration where you can make somebody re-roll something or change the die. So maybe that's where I'm getting that I thought it was a cantrip, because that's not a spell. It's just it takes your inspiration die.
Yeah.
So that could be
Okay.
that, but
I gotta go.
no problem.
So
Thanks for hanging out.
I'll catch y'all later.
Thanks for hanging out, Corvus. Appreciate you.
Thanks. See y'all.
Zip. But it being reaction is great. Like, that's just... There's not enough reaction spells. And I think there should be a few more reaction abilities, too. Especially for specific classes. Like, attacks of opportunity are great. And, like, the Swashbuckler, I really wish there were a few more reactionary things that Swashbucklers could do. There might be a repose spell where you get to counterattack. I can't remember what it's called. But I think that's really cool. I think like disarming blows should be something that should be a reactionary thing. Like, oh, someone's hitting you. If you don't get hit by them, then you have a chance to like disarm them or something.
Corvus Burning and I were actually discussing this the other day. There's actually a couple of variations on the attack of opportunity.
As options or I guess functional skills like feats. Like what do you mean?
No, as class specific.
Okay.
Things. I think there's one. I think it's only fighter, barbarian. It's like the primary martial classes get it. And what it is basically it's a sentinel. It's a feat that lets you do the sentinel instead of the normal.
You stop their attack
thing,
instead of doing damage.
Yeah, or no, you still do damage because the attack of opportunity on in 2E as it is now is like it triggers if the enemy is moving away or doing an interact action, like something like a spell, right? And the text specifically says that if you get a critical hit, you interrupt the interact action. So if somebody's trying to drink a potion, you knock the potion out of their hand, and they fail to drink it. But I need to figure out what this was called.
Okay, that's pretty cool though. I like that.
But yeah. So it's the same sort of thing where you use your reaction and you get to make an attack, but you end their movement instead.
Yeah, I like that. And like the champion has their every class in my mind should have a reaction specific thing, right? And quite a few of them do, but
not enough.
Not enough, yeah. And especially, I honestly think like that should be something that should be choice. And then when you have something like how the Battle Master worked in 5e, it's just like this character is designed to do all their stuff like in between the turns. And there was that's how the old in Pathfinder 1 you could do a really fun tank build with combat reflexes.
Which is the one that lets you, it gives you extra attacks of opportunity with your dexterity being high,
based
right?
on your dexterity modifier. So whatever your dexterity modifier is, you get more. Which, like, it sounds like, oh, well, then you'd want to be like a rogue. And it's like, yeah, but the fun part about it is with the warrior or the fighter, you get that, and then you get things like the sentinel feat or disarming or grappling. And so, like, all of a sudden in combat, people can't get around you. Like, you can basically corral a whole team just like trying to like wrestle people around.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. And like that's what I feel like is missing. Because right now, because in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, they removed attacks of opportunity as just a base thing. So now you have to tech into it to get it. There's a lot more movement capabilities, and it feels weird sometimes. Because it's just like, haha, we're in combat. Well, I'm going to leave. And like just walk away from the party, and they're like, "Oh no, there's nothing we can do about it." It's like, especially at low level.
Yep. I have done that to you guys several times.
Quite a few times. It's just like, it's like, I don't want to be here anymore. Goodbye. So I do think that it's kind of like a massive overcorrection for 2nd edition.
Yeah.
And I think having unique abilities would fix it. And I think they're getting there, but they don't happen until like level 5, level 6. And some of them are like the investigator, where it's like you get to roll a knowledge roll as a reaction. It's like, that's stupid. Like, what spell is that? It's fireball. Okay, thank you. It's like that didn't help anybody. Now we're all dead. But I like the champion has the thing where they can basically block for other people or reduce damage. That's beautiful. Like that's great, and that's what's missing. And I feel like the bard should have something like that as well. So I'm gonna start being a little more flexible, I think, with reactionary and Corvus and I were talking about this the other day, and I should bring it up. That I don't want to say in standard play, but like in Pathfinders, the way they think players play, they take into account things like aid, right? They expect people to be casting aid a lot more than they are, because aid is supposed to use your action to prepare it and then your reaction to cast it. And so on your turn, you could say, I'm going to aid them in their attack, and you're using an action and your reaction to give them a +2. Or I'm gonna aid them in defending if they get attacked this round. Same thing, it's just with defense. And like, that's really cool, but most people will not be spending an action to do that. And that's the problem. It's like, those aid bonuses need to be really good to have people want to give up their attacks. But
and they're just not that good.
Yeah, they're just not that good. But the thing we were looking at, because it was a video that Corvus shared with me that I think I shared with the Discord about attack casting spells, right? Where the caster actually has to cast. And the guy did a really good job of showing you, like, if you're fighting a boss, so he said, like, if you're fighting somebody that's 2 to 4 levels above you and you cast a spell, there's the failure chance, and then there's the chance that it will normally succeed, and then the critical, right? And it's like, so it's like a 50% chance of failure because you're fighting a boss, and that's it. Lorem, no problem. Thanks for hanging out today. That keeps getting in my way of seeing your videos. No problem, John. I've been really bad about posting long-form videos. It's been a lot of shorts and live streams lately, so I'm going to try to get back into the long-form videos soon. But anyways, what they were saying was, then if you use the, like, you have to attack to hit, you basically no longer have this failure, success, critical success. It just goes to something like this, of like, you either hit or you don't, and it sucks. And people are like, that's bad, why would I ever do that? But if you start having someone aid you, all of a sudden you have a much higher chance of actually hitting the person with the spell, and it's like that's interesting, especially with like when the critical range starts creeping up with it. So
Yeah, and if you can start to stack debuffs on your target and more buffs on yourself, because you can stack a couple of things that give you bonuses to hit, then you become much more likely to actually get your spell off.
Yeah.
And spells that make you roll for a spell attack in order to hit tend to have higher damage output.
Right. And so I think that's also something else that maybe we struggle with as a group that a lot of people might.
Yeah.
It's like it's okay to have a dedicated damage dealer, right? Like
Yeah, totally.
and I think something I really like about being like a bard or a cleric is like, okay, I'm gonna make Burning and his cat barbarian do 1 billion damage. Like it's just like I'm gonna. That's my only goal, is to make Burning do more damage. And that's kind of I think that's something that is missing with people thinking about support, is just like like if somebody really just wants to min-max themselves into damage, cool, support the hell out of them and do it, right? Like take credit for it. Like, I'm gonna give you a bonus and then I did that damage. So that's why I'm always a little hesitant to tell people, not hesitant, but just like I push back. Damage is not the only metric for successfulness of a character, and I think that's something that people need to get more comfortable with.
Yeah, I agree, and I really like that second edition Pathfinder. It feels like I tend to agree with you. It really feels like they're trying to get people to play more as a party, more tactically, like as a group, play with each other. In 1E, it really feels in 5e D&D, most of the games that I've played, it hasn't really felt like a party working together. It's felt like 4 or 5 individuals who are spitting damage next to each other.
And I think that's partially the simplicity of it, right? Like
Totally.
Like something that makes
there's a lot
games,
less you can do tactically in 5e.
Yeah. 5e is not a tactical game. 5e is a role-playing game.
Yeah.
More worried about RP than tactics. Something that breaks video games that tends to happen a lot, like it happens with Overwatch, it happens with League of Legends, it happens with WoW. It happened with WoW 10 years ago and still happening. But it's the amalgamation of classes. Like, as you try to simplify things and bring them down to a level where things are very simplified, so that people can pick the game up easier and have less buttons, you also have to start merging things and making things more the same. So now, like in World of Warcraft, basically every class has a primary damage move, a combo move, and a heal move. Something that makes them more tough, and then some way to like physically heal themselves. So everybody's kind of a tank, healer, and a DPS, and it really starts feeling samey, and it's kind of a bummer. And that's what 5e has done in my mind. It's just like everything is the same. Everyone is the same thing, and it's like that's too bad. So, and that's why the Warlock is so powerful, because the Warlock is the most, I would say, the most unique class. Because they're so focused on their cantrips that you don't have to really specialize to make them good, that everybody just techs into them, right? And then it's become the meta. It's like, cool, just make that the game. Have 5e be the Warlock game. like make everything like that, and then people will stop always taking it. So that's the progression of sameness, is just that like people find something that's good, everybody uses it. Like, let's just give it to everybody. So it is what it is. It kind of happens in the life of the game.
Yeah, I feel like where I think Pathfinder Second Edition is kind of fallen down on this kind of move to make things more tactical, it still doesn't necessarily feel great in general to play support. Support doesn't. You don't feel like you're getting your turns worth in terms of economy, and like I know if we just boil it down to numbers, it's not necessarily helpful, but in this case, if we just boil it down to the numbers, if half of the team is only doing support stuff and not getting any damage out. The other people who are damage dealers, like, they may be more likely to hit, but they may have been likely to hit anyway.
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily actually increasing the damage. And especially with boss monsters, they can be such a threat to the party that just by numbers, it can be really, really important to get enough damage out in a round anyway. So it doesn't necessarily feel, about half the time, I think, as a support character, it doesn't actually feel like your turn matters.
I think
that is, I think, where it falls down. I think the support needs to be able to give a damage boost as well as the to hit boost or whatever else they're doing.
Okay, so I just rolled an 8, which is a flesh warped doctor covered in many eyes, holding many tools. And I agree with you on that part. Like saying that specifically, like the you give them a buff and they would have already hit, right? Like I think part of that problem comes from the diffusion of bonuses. So like the bard giving everybody a +1 is not noticeable. It's just not noticeable, right? Like sometimes it will be, but like the fact that you're giving everybody a +1 to saves, armor class, and damage, that you're technically giving someone more of a buff than you would just giving somebody an inspiration die, right? Because you're now technically giving across the board about 3 points per creature, right? Because on every single attack, they're either attacking you or hitting you or taking damage, right? So overall, with a 5-party team, that's a 15-point bonus, and that's amazing. Versus a D8. But wow, kid.
Whoa.
What was that about? A D8 will be more impactful on a single target, right? I mean, it could still roll a 1, but rolling an 8 is amazing. So like, that I'm a little bummed about, especially when like clerics used to be like bless is a D4, right?
Yep.
Like a D4 is still once again more impactful, and the fact that it's spread across the party is great. But I think bards especially. Overall, like the buff that the buff that a bard or a cleric gives to the party needs to be substantial enough that it's worth wanting to do, right?
Yeah.
And so
where we're at in my game, it really doesn't feel like that +1 is worth very much because we're level 12 and the number scaling is already so huge.
Yeah. And so I'm kind of wondering if that isn't scaling because I'm doing something wrong, or if it's something else. Because like even with the way, I'm down.
What?
I'm down. What's going on? What's up? You want to draw for a bit? We're drawing a flesh warp, so no one will notice. Even with, here you go, kid. Just go at it. Have fun. Nope. Maybe I can't do this while he's streaming because he immediately grabbed the icons with the pen and ended the stream. There is a function that you use your focus points to amplify your cantrip bonus based on performance roll. But up to that point, it's up to, I think it's +3 or +4, which is really good, but it only lasts for 1 round. And it's like, that doesn't feel worth it, considering that the bless spell is a thing, right? It's just...
Yeah.
But it doesn't cost a spell, and that's where things start getting wishy-washy and confusing. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that in general. Because, like, I was having a lot of fun with my bard, but a lot of it is kind of deciding what you want to... when and what you want to buff, right?
Yep.
But... yeah, and I think there is a bit more of strategy that needs to be involved in 2nd edition Pathfinder that we don't do.
Yeah.
That based off that video that we watched, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, we should be discussing, hey, I want to hit him with this big spell. I need help. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, like that's a thing we can do. We can try to make those spells more successful.
Yeah.
But we never do because we're always hiding what we're trying to do, and then it's like, I'm gonna blast them with a spell that they didn't know I had, and it's like, cool, it failed. So, yeah, I don't know. That could be something we talk about in the future too.
Yeah. Well, I realized from that video that we are also.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
He's so tired. Just so everybody knows, I'm holding him. And he decided, no, I'm upset. Throw me to the floor. And I would not let him be thrown to the floor. And now he's more upset. So,
Oh, no.
yeah, he is perfectly fine and safe. And he is screaming because he's mad that I won't let him just flail about.
I was gonna say, the video Corvus shared with us, it also showed me that we have not looked through the magic items enough, because there are a massive number of magic items, and there are some that are apparently already in the like really important for the Pathfinder meta, to the point where I think Paizo is actually designing around them being available in general, and we just don't have them.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing with, like, do you remember the belts of fitness and belts of whatever the mental were in first edition?
Yeah.
Like, those were kind of required. Like, oh yeah, no, at level 5 you need one of these belts. And it's like, oh, and that was the like the stat padding that they did.
Yeah.
That was a big problem with my tree character, the one with the shield stalwart. Is like, I made the shield myself, but it's like, oh, at level 5 I'm supposed to have upgraded to like a +2 shield, because that quadruples the amount of damage it can take before it breaks. And it's like,
yeah.
oh, that makes a difference. That makes a big difference. And so it really is, Pathfinder is very much more item dependent than 5e is, because once again 5e is simplified that you don't need items. Like,
Yeah. Having looked through the gold that the GM is supposed to give the party in order to enable parties to level up like that, I think that the base or the chart they give, that's not what you're supposed to give. That is the bare minimum, and you should be going above and beyond that.
yeah, and that kind of goes back to consumables too, right? Like,
Yeah.
essentially, once you're level 5, the base level potions are not worth using in combat. They're actually worse than pretty much anything else you can use. And so it's like you need to upgrade those things. You need to keep up to date. I watched a thing with Mulligan a little earlier today.
Brennan.
Yeah, Brennan. And he was saying that, do not put your fingers in my mouth, kid. He was saying that essentially, like, D&D is an interesting thing because it's a world where adventuring is so common that a mimic could have evolved, and like eating mimics eating adventurers is a viable evolutionary strategy. And so it's like, yeah, I guess so. Like, I've always thought of adventurers kind of being a little bit rare. Like, the party shows up here and they're like, whoa, who are these weirdos? You actually want to go into a cursed dungeon? But like, no, like, it's a job. it's a legitimate job that people decide to do, and that cities and towns hire people for, right? Like,
Yeah.
So-
Like it's in Pathfinder as well. I guess in D&D and Pathfinder in general, it like by that argument, it kind of feels like adventurers are the Pokemon trainers of the world. Like they're the fundamental base of the economy.
yeah, exactly. And like that's an interesting concept to think about too. Of just like, I love games like Moonlighter. I don't know if you played Moonlighter.
I haven't.
but it's
I
essentially
think I've seen it.
like there's this mystical dungeon that shows up, and a little town pops up around it. Kid,
Uh huh.
and then okay, I think this might be might be done for the stream today. He's now not letting me talk. You basically build a little shop, and every night you go into the dungeon, you find shit, you come out, and you sell it during the day. So like there's an economy around the dungeon, right? And it's the same thing with Dungeon Meshi and there's a couple other ones where that's like dungeons are an economy, right? Like adventuring is a thing because there is this mystical treasure trove of things to mine. And that's kind of something that I think is missing from a lot of our D&D games, because we've been kind of, you and I, and I'm saying when I say we, you and I have kind of been overwhelmed by grandiose stories and like deep lore, and it's like, but there's people that are just general ass adventurers. Like like, oh no, I'm a witch slayer, that's my job. You know, I don't love it, but it pays the bills. Like, we need more NPCs like that. More NPCs that are just general random adventurers. And then when someone's like, why would I help the king? Like, he doesn't pay enough. like that's the kind of stuff that I feel like we're missing. So
I feel like that as well, and that was kind of originally what I had intended our campaign to be. But after 7 levels of slow grind of daily quests where people were just out doing their jobs, I got bored of it.
Yeah, sure, I can understand that.
As a GM, it was difficult for me to write in that space.
I think there's
even going into it knowing that's what it would be.
Yeah, there's definitely a good middle ground that I think we can work on. Because like the Tower of Ashfont, the campaign that I ran 2 years ago for a few years with the Patreon group and with some of my friends, like it very much was episodic. And I think the thing that really tied it together was, and I don't know if it was successful, I think it was somewhat successful, like the episodic nature of it required a story hook to bring it back to the narrative, right? And a big part of that was going back to the hub every time. And that's kind of what I feel like is missing with the job board. The job board has removed that story hook because now the players are just kind of choosing the story they want to do that day. And then that makes it a lot harder to find that hook to bring it back, right? Because it's like either the hooks are so fragmented that you can't really track them, or you have to really force the players into picking what they pick. And I think that's tough. We made it harder on ourselves to do that.
Yeah, we did.
So
I'm still glad I did the job board the way I did, because with us, you know, first and foremost, the purpose of my game was to learn what you could do in 2E, and that meant that people needed to be able to play with different characters, build more characters, experiment with their classes, shuffle stuff around. And so having a couple of different quests planned where people could say, okay, this is something that I could test out with this other character, being able to jump around, I think it facilitated being able to jump around a lot. So
I think the job board is a good I don't want to say it's a trope, but like it's a good good concept for that kind of building, especially when you're building new characters. Because then you can very much say like, oh hey, there's a bunch of skeletons here. Cool, I'm building a character that's good around that, right? And then, so it's
go ahead. It's just that narratively the problem with it is it feels like all you ever do is Skyrim side quests.
Right, and that was what I was going to get at. Is like I think the job board is really good for side questing, but I think the DM has to be in control of the narrative enough to where the side questing is still part of the main storyline, right? And that's an interesting, or it has to be complete downtime. Like that, those are the two things where I think it comes into play, Because if the whole game is just episodic on the player's side of it, where they're constantly picking the episodic nature of it, it fragments too hard. So like the one time I wanted to run a campaign in that world. I basically didn't let people pick. I was just like, oh yeah, cool, you guys wake up and you get attacked by witches. Right? It's still the same universe, and people I don't think were put off that, hey, we didn't get to pick this. It's like, it's fine. That's totally fine to do.
Well, you did also do the Goblin Cave.
Yeah, I did the Goblin Cave. That was a good one. And that was very much what is it called in Magic? It's a forced card, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you guys show up. What do you want to do this weekend? Someone shows up and asks you for help. Like, they push it on you. You could say no, but then I'm done. So, like, there's a little bit of wiggle room there. Like, who's in control of the story at that moment in time? And I've always taken control of that as the DM. And like that's kind of what I did with this new one too. Is like, hey, there's 2 different choices you can make. But I'm still very much in control of what those mean, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a little different than the job board. It's a lot more DM centric.
Yeah.
I like how Vox Machina had adventure parties used as a viable option to the king. It was like a little clunky and forced in the first episode, but it made sense. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like in a world where adventurers are normal, like you would think that each city would have its own little platoon of seasoned adventurers, but
yeah. And that's in my game, that is basically what the guild is, right? It's a mercenary guild specifically, where the town leadership says, okay, so this is all the weird stuff that's happening that's above the town guard's pay grade. You guys are specifically held on retainer to deal with it.
okay. I want to draw this doctor with more eyes, but I think I need to call it.
Kid's done.
He's on the floor playing by himself and screaming. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
He definitely needs a nap. He's tired. What makes a doctor look like a doctor? That's the question. I want to do like a... It's not an apron. What do scrubs look like? What, an old lab coat? Maybe it's a lab coat.
Yeah, it's a lab coat.
Yeah,
Stethoscope.
I hear you, kid.
Stethoscope around the neck as well.
Could do that. Good stethoscope.
I never understood what the little silver medallion was on the headband
It's light.
in cartoons.
Yeah, so that's for flashlights. That's a reflector.
Oh.
It reflects light straight forward. There's even a pinhole in the center of it, so if you had to, you can look through it to get like to look exactly at what you're looking at. Does that make sense?
Interesting. Yeah. I just never knew what it was.
No, it's just a reflector. And now we have these fucking things at the doctor's office that they like stick in your eyeball in your ear.
Yep.
It's a little tiny probe lens. I think. If I'm wrong, let me know, because I think that's what they are. I assume they're just
No, it makes sense.
little headlamps.
Yeah.
I need more eyeballs. The thing people don't get about eyeballs is if you have an eyeball, you need a socket for it.
Yep.
Otherwise, it becomes a tendril. Nobody wants that. Okay, I am going to call it here. We might finish this up on Friday. I'll do a little more sketching, and then we'll go from there. But thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for watching on Twitch, on YouTube. Thanks for the membership stuff that happened. Bri did that. Thank you to all of the new members. Welcome in. Yeah, that's it. Check out Patreon. Make sure you post your suggestions on Patreon if you are a Patreon member. Otherwise, I'll be working on the game more this week, finishing up a commission today, and then we'll be banging those out for the rest of the month. So, yeah. Stay happy, stay healthy. Keep your dice on the table. We'll catch everybody next time. Thanks, Drew, for hanging out today.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.